Hi everybody! We're back in our fragrance hub and pag-uusapan natin ngayon yung part 2 ng ating mini-series about the alternatives to popular and expensive fragrances. Hi everyone, Donard here again, and we're back in our fragrance hub. Ito na yung second installment sa ating mini-series of alternative perfumes for popular or more expensive fragrances. Last time, ang pinag-usapan natin, Luxodor, Cuba, Rasasi, Armaf, Arrofac, Amazing Creations, and PFT. And today, we're going to discuss the rest of these clones and tell you how do they compare to the original bottles na pinag-clonan nila. So the first fragrance that I want to talk to you about is from the house of Dua. It's called Tonka. So this is a clone of a popular fragrance brand. It's Guerlain, and it's a clone of Tonka Imperial. Now, if I will be comparing them side by side, from the time that I smelled this and smelled the original, mas nauna ko actually maamoy itong original. Guerlain's Tonka Imperial is also close to Dior's Feve Delicieuse, which is I've also smelled na gustong gusto ko din talaga. But this one is the more masculine scent, and because I couldn't get it dahil sobrang mahal at wala dito sa Pilipinas, I opted to contact a friend of mine and get me the Dua replacement or the Dua clone. Naamoy ito ng wife ko at naamoy din niya yung original. This is sweeter and this is sweet but darker. And if you're going to compare them by scent, this is something that you would wear formally and this is something that you would wear to a party. Parang ganun na yung difference nila. So in this sense, I would prefer the Tonka rather than the original. There are some cases talaga na ganun yung nangyayari that sometimes they make further improvements on top of the original formulation. For some, nothing beats the original, but in some cases, hindi lang nila maamin talaga, but some clones are better than the OG, especially if you prefer a certain scent, like if you want it darker or you want it lighter. So I would say the similarity is 80%, but the 20% that's different is actually better. As for my nose, other people would disagree, but again, just like what we said in the previous video, if you disagree with my comment, then let's agree to disagree. But I like the Dua better than the Guerlain Tonka Imperial. Next house that we will be talking about is Paris Corner, and the first one is called MinistryOfOud Greatest. Greatest is the clone of Initio Privé's Oud for Greatness, and this is strictly for cold weather or sa mga controlled environment. So hindi mo to pwedeng isuot sa araw, or kung nagmomotor ka or nag-jeep ka, hindi mo to pwedeng suotin kasi sobrang lakas nito. So kapag nainitan yan, sisingaw talaga, baka masuffocate yung mga tao sa paligid mo. Even in a small room, if you spray this, one spray lang, amoy na amoy. So this is one of the things that a lot of people love, but to my nose, this is too strong. But for those who love dark and sweet fragrances, this is something that you will love. Now, I had the privilege to smell the original. I would say nasa 95% yung similarity nila. So if you like that perfume but you don't want to spend so much, this is a good alternative. Next, we're going to talk about Paris Corner's MinistryOfOud Oud Royal. So ang Oud Royal is a clone of Creed's Royal Oud. So binaliktad lang. And what I love about this is wearable. Parang spicy lang siya. And at the same time, since may lemon siya or medyo citrusy, it can also be worn during the day. This is something that would smell really nice in a formal occasion. So if you have an open space get together and you're wearing something casual or even formal, this is a good alternative to Creed's Royal Oud. Hindi siya masyadong nagtatagal, pero pag in-spray mo to sa damit mo, syempre, longevity is pushed a bit more. For some odd reason, when I smelled Creed's Royal Oud, mas gusto ko pa to kaysa doon. So this is something that's not really similar kasi may sarili din siyang attitude niya. So I would say the similarity is around 80 to 85%, but if you compare the two, for me, I would prefer the Oud Royal of MinistryOfOud for some reason. Next, we're going to talk about MinistryOfOud's Oud Satin. This is a clone of MFK's Oud Satin Mood. I can imagine this being worn sa formal occasions na parang magbo-ballroom ka or medyo mapapawisan ka, may mga activities kayo. You just have to spray just a little bit of this and it would please the people around you and they would appreciate how you smell. Ang amoy kasi niya, para siyang kumuha ka ng roses tapos dinurog mo, tapos lagyan mo ng onting sweetness o merong onting sugar, tapos medyo dark at the same time or heavy yung dating niya sa ilong mo. Yung tipong pag naamoy mo siya, parang it sticks dyan na kahit nadaanan ka na nung nag-spray nito, mayat maya maaamoy-amoy mo pa siya. So medyo malakas din yung performance nito. In comparison, siguro mga nasa 90% din yung similarity. Pero when it comes to price, this is just a fraction of the price of that. Yun kasi mga more than 10,000 na naman. And this is, I believe, less than 2,000 in price. So you could never go wrong if you don't have much budget for the MFKs. This is something that is a good alternative. Next natin is Paris Corner's Autobiography Supreme Gold. And this one is reminiscent of Herod. So eto naman to my nose. Slight tobacco pero more on the sweet. Tapos para siyang nuts na nadurog, medyo may onting similarity sa Cloud9. Yun, parang pag naamoy mo siya, gusto mo siyang kainin. Ganon. So, I would say, ang similarity nila, hindi ganun ka-close, no? 85%. But still, you can go away with the 15% because of the price difference. This is way, way cheaper, but still gives you a vibe close to Perfumes de Marly's Herod. And this is very pleasing. And this is something that you could wear early in the morning pag medyo malamig pa, and you can wear it again at night. Yun. So that is Autobiography Supreme Gold. Next is Paris Corner's Privé Zara series, and it's called Y. This is a clone of Yves Saint Laurent's Y EDP. So ito, ang amoy na to, it's soapy. Para kang bagong ligo, tapos yung sabon na ginamit mo galing sa ibang bansa. So it's really pleasing to the nose, and it's also a bit sweet but clean. Fresh yung amoy niya. So if you're going out with a white shirt, black pants, very casual wear, and you just want to smell nice and fresh, this is something that you could use as a replacement to Yves Saint Laurent's Y. The similarity to the two, medyo hindi siya ganun ka-close. This is about 80% to the original. Pero kasi sobrang laki rin naman ang difference sa price. So, if you want something refreshing on a budget, you can never go wrong with this alternative. Next, this is Fragrance World's After Effect. This is the clone of Initio Privé's Side Effect. To my nose, this is a heavy cold weather scent na matamis. And this is something that you should be careful of kapag pupunta ka sa office, or this is for me not office safe. This is what you could wear if you're going outside in an open space tapos malamig yung panahon, probably November, December, January. You can spray this if you're on a high elevation place like Tagaytay or Baguio, or basta sa Sagada, gano'n, na wala masyadong close environment kasi nakakasuffocate to. But if people get whiffs of this perfume, they would appreciate it, pero hindi ito yung tipo ng perfume na i-sniff ka ng mga katabi mo. So this is what we call a niche scent, meaning only trained noses would really appreciate the scent of fragrances like this. Now, similarity, it's around 80%. But for the price, it's really, really cheaper than the original, and at the same time, you would get an almost similar looking bottle. So if you enjoy challenging fragrances and dark ones, heavy ones, this is something that is for you. So next natin is Tobacco Gourmand from Fragrance World. So this is similar to Dior's Tobacolor. This is something that is better than the Smoky Oud, kasi ito mas na-appreciate ko yung smell ng tobacco niya. Parang totoong tobacco talaga. Alam niyo sa palengke yung mga brown na tobacco, gawin mo pang mas sweet yon, tapos ilagay mo sa perfume, ito yung kalalabasan. So this is something that would be appreciated by the elderlies na namimiss yung amoy ng tobacco, but can still be chosen by people who are professionals And this is something that is safe for work. Medyo manamis-namis kasi siya and a bit fruity. Though I could not really say how close it is to the original, based lang sa price, if masabi kong 80% similar to sa original, I would gravitate towards this. With this, I appreciate tobacco and at the same time, the same sweetness without irritating my nose. So this is something that could be good for formal occasions and even during warm days. Next is Emir's Frenetic Delicieuse. So this is very similar to Dior's Feve Delicieuse. This is a sweet scent na nakaka-addict. So as you can see, pag ang perfume ko talaga nabawasan ko na ng ganyang karami, ibig sabihin marami-rami ko ng beses na spray to. And this is something I really enjoy, smooth, and something that could be sprayed na may enjoy ng mga mayayamang tao kasi it smells expensive. I would say this is a good buy if you want to start cheap, something similar to Feve Delicieuse. And nung naamoy ko yung Feve Delicieuse compared to this, I would say nasa 90 to 95% yung closeness nila. Although mas smoother yung sa Dior of course, kasi mas maraming naturals doon or hindi ganun ka well balanced as the Dior. Pero yung little percentage na yon, I'm willing to sacrifice that for the price. So, if you're into sweet and gourmandy, yung mga tipong kakagating ka na ng katabi mo pag naamoy ka niya, this is a good buy. Again, this is Emir's Frenetic Delicieuse. Next up is Emir's Faux Elegante. So, I really like this because it's reminiscent of one of my favorite niche fragrances from Xerjoff. It's Xerjoff Naxos. When I first got this, I really didn't know what to expect kasi nga gustong-gusto ko yung Naxos and I wanted to wear it in any time of the day. This I really enjoyed early in the morning or late in the afternoon. I just felt that this is a fresher take on Naxos but at the same time it's sweet. And the tobacco, hindi siya masyadong nasa harapan. Light honey yung amoy niya. Ang similarity nila, I would say it's around 85%, which is not bad, given that this is a very cheap fragrance. But at the same time, it lives up to its name as being the clone of Xerjoff's Naxos, which is a bit more on the expensive side. So since I can't afford that, I would defer to this as my default, especially since ang weather dito sa Pilipinas is mostly mainit. So if you like Naxos, I know that you will enjoy this fresher take on that fragrance. Alright, so next is Identity Unique Portrait. This is a very rosy perfume. Mataas yung rose concentration niya. This is a clone of Frederic Malle's Portrait of a Lady. I can't really say much about this perfume other than it's a spicy rose. And sa lahat ng mga nandito ko, ito yung tipong pag naamoy mo, alam mo agad na rose perfume siya. The similarity, I can't really say because I've not smelled the original yet. But if you're willing to try or blind buy this, I think this would be a good addition to those who like flowery fragrances. The next house is Al Haramain. So, ililinya ko na sila dito. These clones are not cheap. They're a bit on the expensive side, but for a good reason. The best among these is yung Rouge tsaka Tobacco edition. Now, I would be describing them to you later on, pero let's begin with the least that I like between the three. Not because it's a bad fragrance, but mas mabango lang para sa akin talaga yung dalawa sa gilid. So this is called Al Haramain Amber Oud Gold Edition. This one is similar to Xerjoff's Erba Pura. So ito parang mas gearing towards the feminine side. Mabango talaga siya. So it's a sophisticated and elegant scent. It's more on the fruity side than on the citrus. It's heavy on the nose, and I could really see this being sprayed by a lady or a man going to an exclusive event, like mga awarding or pupunta sa Grammys, yung mga tipong mga pangmalakasang mga events na ganon. Since I was able to smell the original, I could say that the similarity is really close. It's around 90 to 95%. So if you want to smell elegant with more on the fruity side and you're on a business trip or a business meeting, this is something that could be worn. Next would be the Al Haramain Amber Oud Rouge. This one is very, very similar to MFK's Baccarat Rouge 540. Sunog na cotton candy yung amoy niya. And this is really strong kasi nung dinidikan ko yan, natapon sa keyboard ko. And even after a month, nandun pa rin yung amoy niya. This is a very strong scent, easily enjoyed by many people, but some people get anosmic to this fairly easily. What do we mean by that? Yung hindi nila naaamoy. I don't know why that happens, but when I tried to smell the original, nung nagpunta kami sa Makati, parang ganun nga. Parang nag-spray ng isa nung extrait de perfume sa wife ko. Nung inamoy ko, parang may naamoy lang ako ng onting-onte, tapos wala na ako maamoy. Pero yung mga tao sa paligid niya, amoy na amoy siya. So, this is a very tricky perfume if you get the original. Pero itong Al Haramain, medyo mas amoy to ng mas maraming tao. It smells really similar to that, around 95%. A good alternative to MFK's Baccarat Rouge 540. Last but not the least, I have here Al Haramain's Amber Oud Tobacco Edition. What I like about this is it's 95% close to Tom Ford's Tobacco Vanille. So, di ba nabanggit ko kanina, I like sweet tobacco scents. This one is more on the vanilla side, tapos may onting tobacco. And for me, sweet siya pero very masculine, and it's a statement signature perfume. And this is something that I would not let go kasi ganun ko kagusto yung amoy ng Tobacco Vanille. And since it captures the vibe and also the smell, this will not go out of my collection. So if you like vanilla, masculine scents, then I would say this is a very good replacement if you like the Tobacco Vanille. Alright, so we're almost done. This is called Midnight Oud. And this is really, really close to one of the popular dark scents, which is the Amouage Interlude Man. For some reason, I can smell parang woods na may onting nuts. I would say this is also around 90 to 95% similar. So, kung gusto mo yung Interlude Man ng Amouage, gusto mo ng performance, gusto mo na may impress yung mga tao sa paligid at di nila mapapansin that you are wearing an inexpensive perfume that smells expensive, don't get fooled by the looks. Because with fragrances, it's not the presentation but the juice inside. And this is one of those fragrances that I would really say the juice matters, not the bottle. Pag naamoy mo talaga yung original versus this clone, mapapansin mo na parang onting-onti lang talaga yung difference. So if you're looking for a budget Amouage Interlude Man, this is the first thing that I would recommend. Next, this is Amir Al Oud Intense from Latafa. This one is reminiscent to the fragrance by Maison Martin Margiela called By the Fireplace. There are only two things that I could say about this fragrance. The first one is it smells like burnt sugar and marshmallows, and the second one is it's really strong. So if you're looking for a good and cheap alternative to that rather expensive Margiela perfume, you can get this for a cheap price, but the performance and the smell are very, very close. When I smelled the Margiela, I would say 90%, but that one is more smoother and lighter. Ito kasi heavier sweet. Pero if you're on a budget, is this enough to replace that? I would say yes. So this is a good alternative to By the Fireplace. Next one is Latafa's Ejazi. So this is similar to Jeremy Fragrance's Fragrance 1 Office for Men, which means this can be safe for the office. Ang pinaka-aim nito is for you to smell good in a controlled environment. It's not that sweet. It's a good performer. And if you're curious to know how the Office for Men smells like without shelling out so much money, then this is a very good alternative. Next, this is one of my favorite clones. It's called Ajmal Evoke Gold Edition. This is very similar to Prada's Prada L'Homme. So ang amoy nito, medyo nakaka-happy. This is something that I could really see myself wearing in the office. This smells like you just got off of the shower, and it's mass-pleasing. So if you like Prada L'Homme and you're looking for an alternative, Ajmal Evoke Gold Edition is a good alternative. It's 90% similar to Prada L'Homme. Alright, nag-iisa from Riani Tradition. It's called Insurrection 2 Wild. And ito yung isa sa mga paborito ko ulit ng mga cheapies. Kasi kaamoy niya yung Naxos at kaamoy niya din yung isa sa mga paborito kong Muglers. which is Thierry Mugler's Pure Havane. So, ito na naman yung Tobacco and Honey. Ang similarity nilang dalawa, it's really close. But what I could just say is this performs better. This is a lighter version, or I would say watered down version. Pero kung i-compare mo naman kasi yung price, panalong-panalo ka na rin dito sa Insurrection 2 Wild. So if you're someone who wants to smell good on date nights, and if you're just working alone and you want to smell something addicting, this is something that you could get for a fair price. Similarity is at 90%, with this being just a wee bit lighter than the Pure Havane. This next one is from Ard Al Za'afaran, and it's called Jazab Silver. Ang similarity nito is to the ADG Profumo. And since I have both of them, I would say that I would wear this more than this kasi very similar sila at para matipid ko yung Giorgio Armani ko. But if you're looking to buy something cheap, reminiscent of Profumo, I would say this is 90% close to the original. This is really good for hot weather. So if you're looking for a cheapie that smells like this, I would certainly recommend buying the Jazab Silver if you're on a budget. Alright, so this is Afnan's 9 PM. And this is similar to Jean-Paul Gaultier's Ultra Male. This one is sweet. It has vanilla. It has fruits in it. This can be worn in a cold environment. And if you love Jean-Paul Gaultier's, yung sexy katawan ng lalaki, if you like that, you would love this as well. And this is a good replacement to their Ultra Male because that's a bit expensive. If you want to get a similar vibe, you can never go wrong because a lot of people like this as an alternative to the more expensive one. So this is Afnan's 9 PM. Alright, malapit kay Naruto, parang may leaf village na symbol din. This is Afnan's Rare Carbon. And in first snip when I got this, alam ko kaagad kung ano yung amoy niya. And this is very very similar to Tom Ford's Ombre Leather. So ang amoy nito parang bagong kotse. Yung alam niyo yung amoy ng leather ng kotse kapag bagong bili. But at the same time, this is the fruitier version. So this is something that you could wear casually. It's mostly a no-brainer perfume. So this leans more towards controlled environments, and this is office safe, and your office mates will like it kasi parang mariremind sila nung bago pa nila binili yung kotse nila. But at the same time, it's fun because of the fruits that are in here. So the similarities to the Tom Ford Ombre Leather, I would say it's 90% and the other 10% is more on the fruity part. But if you're gonna ask me, I would definitely suggest you to buy Rare Carbon if you do not have the budget for the Tom Ford. Alright, so the last fragrance we're going to discuss is from Afnan. It's called Supremacy in Heaven. Yan, parang in heaven talaga based on the bottle. And similar to our Muff Sillage, this is also similar to Creed's Silver Mountain Water. Ang amoy nito, I would say the difference between this and the Sillage, mas matamis to. And they say that the Sillage is closer than the Supremacy in Heaven to the original. But some people prefer this kasi nga may onting tamis siya other than it smelling like the river. So if you're into fresh and sweet, this could be a good alternative to Creed's Silver Mountain Water. So this is Afnan's Supremacy in Heaven. The similarity to Creed's Silver Mountain Water is 85%. 15% of that will be the drop-in natural ingredients and at the same time the sweetness. But if you don't like how fresh the Creed is and you want something a bit sweeter, then this is a good alternative. So everyone, that completes our mini-series for alternatives to more expensive or popular fragrances, and I hope it was helpful to you and gave you some ideas kung ano yung mga fragrances na pwede nyong bilhin in replacement of those harder to get fragrances. If you like and want more videos like this, go ahead and click the like button para ma-encourage naman akong gumawa pa ng mas marami and so that I know that I was able to impart some knowledge to you. Please share this with your friends so that they will also be guided to choose the right fragrance for them. Thank you so much for watching. God bless and keep safe.